Now she's back in the atmosphere, drops of Jupiter in her hair. She acts like summer and walks like rain. Reminds me that there's a time to change. I
love it, man. You brought me back to the 90s, man.
Oh, yeah, it's a good song.
It's a great song, man.
I haven't sang it in a long time.
Nobody, I can confidently say nobody's done that song.
Really?
Yeah, after 300 plus shows, nobody's done that song.
There we go. You know, something unique.
Oh, it's great, man. Dillon, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. I know we tried to do it a few times, and then life got in the way, and just as life should get in the way.
It is.
It's just how it is. Thanks for driving and getting us coming to the show here, man.
Yeah, I mean, we've been all cooped up in COVID, and I'd just rather have the personal meeting here, and instead of doing this all over Zoom or something, right?
I didn't stop during the whole COVID days. We didn't stop recording. We were just we were still recording. Everything was good.
Did you still have people in the studio?
Yeah, we were still
nice.
we were still doing it.
You guys have masks?
Yeah, well, we had like little socks and things all over everything. And if anybody was paranoid, but nobody in construction actually spoke up and just said, I don't want to do the show. I don't want to do the show. And then we just still kept on doing the show. Yeah. Because I wanted the conversations to continue, right?
Oh, for sure.
I don't know. If the COVID police want to come out of the woodwork and arrest me for whatever reason, go ahead. Good luck with that. I don't care. So first shout out, Mechanics. I'm wearing their tee. I've always been a fan of Mechanics gloves. You can find them everywhere. That's it. Simple as that. But I've got Dillon LaPointe here, Bildco Contracting. You're the vice president, www.bildco.ca. And your email is dillon@bildco.ca. And on Instagram, it's Bildco Contracting.
Yeah.
4 years in business with the company, but 10 years in construction.
Correct.
How young are you, man?
I'm 28, going to be 29 in January.
You're a kid, man.
I know.
You're a kid, man. I've got boots and belts that are older than you.
I don't feel like a kid, I can tell you that much.
Well, where do you want to begin, man?
How
did you get into construction?
It was actually kind of a fluke. Like when I was a kid, I always liked to build like ramps and stuff like that, right? And I was always in the garage trying to build something. And then I played a lot of sports. And I was supposed to go to the States for sports, but there wasn't any money in it. And it was kind of a last minute decision of what do I want to do with my life, right? And
how old are you at this time? Like late teens?
Yeah, I was like 16, 17 at the time, trying to make that last final decision on whether or not I want to ship myself to the U.S. or if I want to stay here. And I ended up deciding to go to Toronto to do building renovation technology. So
what school?
George Brown.
George Brown.
Yeah.
Was it good?
It was actually really good. We had some really good teachers there.
4-year program?
So it was actually, I went in for the 3-year program. And then I decided, hey, I'm going to go home. So I just stayed for the 2 years and then decided to go home. Yeah.
How were those first 2 years?
They were amazing.
So never construction experience before that? Other than just tinkering around, right?
Yeah, just tinkering. Yeah, we just tinkered in the garage, building anything like ramps.
Skateboard ramps?
Yeah, skateboard, bike ramps. We used to jump over each other.
How big did you...
How big are the ramps?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say like 3 foot high.
Really?
Like it's not anything crazy, yeah. But we used to lay down in front of the ramps, me and my buddies, and see if how many guys we can jump. And we were daredevils. We really were.
So lots of bruises.
Oh, yeah. Growing up, yeah. It was, like I said, sports. That was my thing, right? And lots of bruises, lots of bumps.
Does anybody jump off garages anymore? Because I did that as a kid.
I did that too, but I did it into pools.
No, I did it onto the ground. I thought, okay, that's high enough, and you get a little wobbly from doing it, and you only do it a few times, and that's about it. But I don't know if anybody does it anymore.
See, we had a pool right in front of our garage, but we also had a tree. So it'd be like one guy jumping off the garage into the pool, the other guy jumping off the tree into the pool, and then hopefully Dad didn't see. You know, so.
But that's how a kid is, man.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
So you get to school, you do the school thing, and you get the introduction of school, like. Yeah.
So the first year was more of like learning the basics, right? Like here's a hammer, here's a saw, don't cut yourself. You know what I mean?
Very basic.
Yeah, very basic. And at that point, going to Toronto, there's a lot of people that were, came in like green, didn't touch a hammer, didn't touch it, and they thought, hey, this is what I want to do. We
Different age groups too, right?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I ended up going in there, and I excelled because I already had some skills behind me. My dad's a mechanic, so I was on the tools with him, working on the car. I was used to it. I'm from a small town, so it's just, that's something you grow up with, right?
You fix things.
Yeah. And no, school was great first year. Second year was awesome too. Ended up being the president of the student rep council. I got voted in for that.
Good for you.
And then, I met some good friends there. Shout out to Jules, best teacher I've ever had.
I know Jules. Yeah, I've met her a few times.
I don't know if you remember, but my last year there, you came in and did a speech.
Oh, you were in the crowd, huh?
Correct.
Yeah. Jules actually, was it Jules or was it somebody else that reached out to me and asked me to come out?
I think it was Jules.
That's a long time ago.
That is a long time ago.
Holy crap! And you were in the audience.
Yeah, I was in the audience watching you, and I thought it was just awesome. Yeah, you had a really good seminar for us, just basically.
Thanks, man.
Telling us all the bullshit that happens in the behind the scenes, and but it was also like, don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Like, get out there.
Yeah.
Learn something.
Try something.
Exactly.
You're gonna fail.
Yep.
Try it again.
Exactly.
That's construction.
Well, failure. Yeah. My father-in-law said always leverage your lessons learned. So always take a failure and leverage it as a lesson learned. And I've kind of lived by that. Yeah.
And take it to a success.
Exactly.
And then don't hang around the success for too long.
No.
Don't think that that's how it's going to be.
Oh, definitely not. I just had a conversation with with one of my partners, and said, we got to get around this mindset. I know it's crazy right now, but we always think, after this hump, it's going to be better. After this hump, it's going to be better. And it's like, no, it's not. Like, you just need to cope. You need to be able to be in the now and know that, hey, this isn't ever going to get better. You're just going to get better with dealing with these situations.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And that you got to learn it on your own almost.
Oh, for sure.
Everybody else, you can't teach that lesson to somebody.
No, you can only learn that by being in the moment.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's a lot of fear in construction. You get a lot of the younger trades that are afraid to even get close to that part, right?
I would say so. You get kids that come into the trades now that are scared to even touch a saw, right? But they learn. You have to put them on the tools and put them in those situations that they are feeling uncomfortable with. Yeah. I feel, because that's the only way they're going to learn, right? It's I had a guy that was scared of heights. And he did not want to get up on the ladder or the roof or wherever
ladder,
we're doing.
or is it like 6-foot ladders? Or?
Like extension ladders up onto the roof, or anything higher than, I would say, like 10 feet. And it was like, hey, listen, I'm going to let you do this at your own pace, but just let you know, I need you up on that roof, right? And I would say after probably a week of having up there, he was flying around the roof. He was like, that was with my old company, and He actually said to me, he's like, it's because of you that I'm not scared of heights anymore. He's like, you made me get up on the roof. Well, I mean, I didn't physically make him.
But you let him take his time.
Correct. Yeah. And I feel like you have to do that with everybody. You have to put them in those awkward situations for them to actually to learn, develop these skills, right? Yeah, it's fine being scared to do something. But if you don't try, then it's, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
You won't learn, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I get you take a different path now because you started a business 4 years ago. So now you're calling the shots.
Yeah.
It's a different set of climbing the ladder and getting over fear rules.
Oh, for sure.
Right? It's like a lot of people think that, okay, sure, it's just about the physical, the skills, and building things and getting on certain structures and all this other stuff. But once you start doing the business side of things, there's other kinds of fears, man.
Oh yeah, like if you're gonna be able to pay your employees next year, right? It's do I have enough work lined up for all of these things, right?
Start worrying that you're responsible for other people's families now.
Correct. That's a big worry of mine. That's something that keeps me up at night. It's now I have as I'm getting older, so are the guys that are working around me. And it's like, oh man, they're having, families, they're, everything like that. And I have to be able to not only support my own family, but help them support theirs.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a whole new ball game. Being the guy that's calling the shots, right?
How do you handle that, Dylan? How do you?
I just push through.
That's it.
Yeah, I just push through. I keep on. I keep that in my back of my head of just like, this isn't just for yourself. It's for everybody else around you, and everybody's counting on you. And that's kind of the way I go about it.
It's a funny career, huh? That we choose, where everyone jokes, and we've seen the memes over and over about 40-hour weeks. That's nice, you know what I mean? It doesn't exist in construction, right?
Not. I mean, it does and it doesn't. I mean, if you're a general laborer, it exists.
Yeah.
Right. It's 40 hours. It depends on deadlines. If you're looking to actually start your own company, 40 hours. Don't even think about 40 hours. That number doesn't exist. You're working anywhere from 60 to 80. You know what I mean?
But it's truly about trying to figure out how to be efficient with those hours too, right?
Yeah. Time management's everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not on the ball, and you're not say if I'm not on a site, I have to leave a site to go to another site. I'll find that the next day there's a whole bunch of catching up to do because, I wasn't on site. I have other guys there, but the stuff that's not getting done while I'm there needs to be caught up on, right? And
isn't that the biggest hurdle, though? You're always in the back of your mind thinking, do I leave? If I leave, then I'm not going to complete what needs to be completed today on this site.
It scares me.
It scares every GC, first of all, right? It scares everybody because then you come back the next day or you make a phone call or you make a text and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, we got most of it done. We didn't get to this point. And then now you're in the back of your head shuffling the schedule for the rest of the week or for next week.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And then working in the weekends. I've had to do that a while because I'm doing a really big project right now with a bunch of smaller ones around it. And I found myself having to come off this bigger project to make sure things are getting done, but then having to do after hours work at the big project. Like I was, last Thursday, I was in the one building painting until 12:30 a.m. Yeah. But I mean, when you do that kind of stuff, I take pride in every project that I do, but not only is it the project, it's the client as well, right? Yeah. And you want to be able to make these clients happy. You want to show them, hey, this project's not as important as yours, but yours isn't as important as theirs.
Yeah.
Every project of mine, I take full pride in, but I also take pride in all of my clients and try to make them as happy as I can. And one thing that if I have to go after hours, I have to go after hours. Deadlines are deadlines.
And you're doing that because you have to feed your guys and their family, and you got to figure it out. But then most GCs in the beginning neglect their own personal lives and their own families.
Yeah.
Then that takes a toll, and that becomes a conversation. It's just really about managing it. You're totally right, 100%.
Correct. Yeah.
But I mean, I find it really interesting that a lot of clients, they never think that we have more than one going on. Mm-hmm. They always think that theirs is the only one going on.
Correct. Yeah.
But I mean, it's very difficult to do that. There are some guys that have been on the show, and myself in the beginning, it was only one project at a time, and you only focus on that because you wanted to give your all to that project.
For sure, but I find it's one of the biggest, not to talk anybody, but I feel one of the biggest things that everybody messes up on in the beginning is the communication with the client.
Yep.
And right at the beginning, you need to be open. You need to be totally just open. You need to be transparent to your client. Hey, I have another project going on. I might have to duck out for a little bit, or your project might run a little bit longer because I have this going on. And and I mean, you never want to lose a job because you're too busy. But is it worth pissing off a client?
Yeah.
Right. And for me, it's pissing off a client, and I don't know. It might be a little bit different for, trades guys around here because there's so many people around here. But from where I'm from, there's not too many people, not like Toronto, you know what I mean? And everybody knows everybody. And if you piss one off, then that starts a domino effect.
Yeah, but you're always still trying to make them happy. That's the one thing about contractors is that customer service is always at the forefront, right?
Mm.
They really care about it, and it's just and unfortunately, you're right. Toronto, it's too easy for clients to just say, "F you, we don't care. We're gonna talk shit about you, and we'll leave a bad review about you, and all this other crap."
Mm-hmm.
Not realizing you're actually affecting my livelihood now.
Correct.
I didn't. What exactly did I do wrong? I
Yeah.
didn't show up one day this week because I had another job going on.
Correct.
I didn't get this completed because I had another job going on.
Yeah, we're humans too.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, we have
exactly it.
families we have to
Yeah.
feed. We have families. We have, sometimes I overwork myself, right? And I feel it with my family as well. I mean, my family's completely understanding. It's just I have an 8-month at home, right? And I miss him every time I'm gone to work, right? And if I have to spend extra hours at work, then that means I don't get to put him to bed. That means I don't get to feed him. I don't get that special time that I'm,
You miss life.
Yeah, and some clients, I mean, they don't understand it. Like, that's their job, that's their home, I understand they're paying that money, but we also have families as well, and if we're spending all of our time on your jobs, then we're not spending it with our families.
So before Bildco started, you had the experience working for other guys or working on your own?
I had experience working for other guys. I started out here in Toronto, actually, working for Silver Creek Commercial.
Okay.
And my first job with them was, I think it was Queen and Bathurst. We tore down a funeral home, an embalming place, and then built an LCBO.
Oh, okay. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I was a part of that project from start to finish. And then when I decided to leave to Wallaceburg, I took my boss out for breakfast and told him, hey, this is what's going on. I hate to leave you. He was like, hey, I understand. You go home. Doesn't work out. Come back. I was like, all right, cool. And then I went back home. I found a small job with a couple of roofers because I was like, I'm not moving back home unless I have a job steady, right? So while I'm up here in Toronto, I'm making phone calls. Hey, I just got out of trade school, who wants to pick me up? And a roofing company did. And then I ended up getting let go from those guys because I told them they were doing something wrong.
They didn't want to hear that?
Well, it's just they learned...
Safety-wise?
No, it was actually... so drip edge, some guys just butt them up and then think that, hey, it's fine, the ice and water is fine. And I was like, hey, like, you got to overlap those things, eh? And
that's a penetration point.
Correct. Like, if you get a little bit of water that drips down, even if it doesn't go into the house, you're still, the wood's still going to get damaged behind that piece, right? And they didn't
Let's remember the name of the product. It's a drip edge.
Correct. Not a drip through.
Drip through, exactly. Nobody sells a drip through.
So they didn't like that, and I said that's fine.
That's a little thing. That's just you being like...
They're very like, we know
set in our ways.
Correct. And their father taught them this way and everything like that. And I said, that's fine. So I went and worked for another guy, and he turned out to be kind of like an alcoholic and wasn't paying people and stuff. So that didn't work out. But then I also kept on hearing these, these horror stories of like people, like all the contractors around here were like Bobs and trucks, where if they had a ladder and a truck, they were now all of a sudden a contractor.
They're a builder.
Correct. And I just didn't like it. They were screwing people left, right, and center. So I was like, you know what? I'm tired of bouncing around these guys, right? And I want to start my own thing. So that's when I started LaPointe Renovations. I started that. We had that company. Well, I was part of that company for 5 years. Okay. Some stuff went down, and I just decided, hey, I'm gonna go do my own thing, whether it's work for somebody else or whatnot. And at that point, I met my wife, and her father had me come out and do an outdoor fireplace for him. And he goes, wow, like, this looks, awesome. And he loved every second of it. He goes, so you're leaving that company? I was like, yeah. And he goes, well, what's your thoughts on starting a company with me? And at the time, like, I'm looking up to this guy because not only is it I'm trying to impress him because I'm with his daughter, but he's also a very renowned businessman in our area. Okay. He owns a few different other very successful businesses. And I was like, this is your shot. This is your shot to actually learn business, because I got the building thing under control, right? I know how to build things. I'm good at that. I just don't know the business side of things. And I was lucky enough to, you know, have him as a mentor for 3.5 years. So
Lucky you.
yeah.
A lot of guys don't get that opportunity.
No, they don't.
And there's only two avenues. You could either go the hard way to learn business, or you could try to mirror somebody else that's doing it. And that's not necessarily someone that's doing it in your industry. You can mirror your lessons from somebody that's in a different industry.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
It's very, so I mean, that's a huge, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. Was it totally disgusting to demo the funeral home in the basement?
Do you know what's actually crazy is in that basement?
I can picture the basement already, man.
Yeah, well, first of all, there was an old oil can that was down there. So we actually had to like excavate even lower than the basement to get that out.
Okay, so there was contamination?
Correct, in the soil. So we had to dig that out. So we're actually crawling now underneath the floor of the basement. Creepy. But the most creepy thing that happened in there was inside the wall, there was one of those fold over burlap
Body bag? No.
Not body bag. No, like one of those like cases that hold all the embalming tools. Oh yeah.
Oh, you mean the little?
Yeah, you like fold it open and all
inside
the
the
tools.
wall?
Correct. It was freaky. Like coolest, like one of the coolest experiences, but at the same time, it was just like when you had to go down to the basement to do something, you were like, hey, like
Somebody come
get over here. You're coming with me. I don't want to.
Was there like a flickering light every time that you were walking
No
down?
lights.
No
We had
lights.
no lights. The electricity wasn't working.
So you're going down with a work light.
Exactly. Yeah, it was freaky. And then it was actually really tough, that project, because I'm from more southern area of Canada, so it's a different type of cold than it is up here in Toronto.
It is.
Even though it's only like 3.5 hours away, but it's a different type of cold.
Yeah.
And I just remember like trying to work out there, like in the basement and everything just on me is numb. And the GC at the time was just like pulling us in every 15 minutes. Every 15 minutes, come up, warm up, boom, back out for another 20, half hour, 15 minutes. You know what I mean? And yeah,
It's a harsh coldness.
It is.
It is. It's
Yeah.
very, very bitter.
It'll get at you.
The other thing I wanted to ask you is, what was the fireplace like? Wood burning fireplace that you built? Was it?
No, it was electric, but
Electric?
so he has a house on Mitchell's Bay. So he lives on the bayfront. So literally you look out and there's the bay. And what it was trying to find a product that would be able to stand up to obviously the winter, but he didn't want to go fusion stone because it was just too heavy and he didn't like the looks of it. So I actually found this foam, like fake stone that put together like tile pieces.
Really?
Yeah, and it screws in, and then it does like contract and expand, but not to an extent where it's going to pop out. So I ended up building this fireplace in with an electric outdoor fireplace, and then an inset like niche that has a outdoor TV. So then it's all right there. It was absolutely beautiful. I love that. And then I ended up doing his outdoor kitchen too. So.
Same idea, same stone around.
Same stone around, and then we got Blaze barbecue products. We found from a little fireplace store in Wyoming.
Nice.
And they ended up coming up with this Blaze barbecue setup, and it's gorgeous. I absolutely love it. I'm jealous. I want it.
What was the countertop like?
He went with granite.
Granite.
Yeah, it's kind of like a dark black green.
Nice.
Yeah, granite, and did the black backsplash on the back, and yeah, it was cool.
Must look pretty sweet, man.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice.
Nice, man. So that basically got you the origin, I guess, of your Bildco.
Yeah. So him and I talked, and he goes, you know what, like, let's start something up. And I was like, you sure? Like, you just met me, you know what I mean? And it ended up working out. He taught me a lot while he was still here. So.
What was some of the earlier lessons that he kind of broke down for you?
It was more just like dealing with the stress of everything, right? And
so there's going to be a bunch of problems coming in.
Yeah.
And how to handle these things.
He taught, so I have like an anxiety, and he helped me cope with that through these, and like showed me different ways to like deal with problems, right? He was a problem solver, and he he was just cool, collective, and was like, hey, don't worry, like you will find a way, you know. So he taught me a lot about the stress side of things and dealing with emotions. And then he taught me a lot about like how to actually deal with the company and your employees. And, you know, you don't need 3 guys on a 1-man site, you know, and that's something that I struggled with when I did start, right? It was, no, I'm going to need extra bodies here, get this done, and then push. And he's like, no, like 1 guy here, 1 guy there, 1 guy there, meet in the middle after, you know. And
why were you thinking that you needed more and he was thinking that you needed less? What was your reason?
Well, my thought was, like when I had LaPointe Renovations, it was more of like, get the guys working, show them what they need to do, go and find more work, right? And then come back, work, and then go and find more work. It was just trying to manage my time, right? It was time management. And I guess that's what I can say is he taught me how to properly manage my time. And he was like, no, like you need to have a guy there, because if you have 3 guys there, now you're paying 3 times the extra amount on what needed to be quoted, and then you're not gonna, like, you're just gonna keep on doing that where you're actually losing money. But if you have 1 guy there that's solid, right, you're gonna make more money by having 1 guy there, and then other jobs going at the same time with separate individuals.
And well, that's what you quoted, right? And when we quote, we're always thinking exactly how many labor hours that they're going to be attached to it.
Correct.
But then if you start changing that plan, then it starts affecting your scope.
Correct.
Your financial scope, I'm saying.
Correct.
Not necessarily your physical on the site scope.
Yeah.
So, and then it's easy to all of a sudden Monday becomes like that, Tuesday becomes like that, Thursday, all that stuff becomes like that.
Yeah.
Then you start realizing, wait a minute, we're not profitable now.
No, exactly.
So you really got to stick to your guns. I mean, you've got the experience and the know-how to sit down, price it, quote it properly, present it. Do not negotiate where you start lowering your price for the sake of trying to get the job.
No.
Remove scope, and then start the work, but stay true to that.
Correct.
Quote, that price.
Correct. Yeah.
And a lot of guys don't.
No, a lot of guys don't, and that was including myself in the beginning. Not with Bildco, but when I had LaPointe Renovations, was I was doing that a lot, where I was shifting a lot of guys on one site that only need 1 guy, and I'm like, well, there's another loser, you know. And that's one thing he taught me is like, don't get hung up on the losers, right? Because you're always going to have more winners than you are going to losers. So don't lose sweat over it, you know. Because if you're doing things properly, and you know, it's bound to happen. I always say that I'm probably gonna have at least 1 or 2 nightmare jobs a year, where it's like one of those jobs where it's just something wrong happens, right? And then at those times, I would start freaking out. I'd start getting, I wouldn't say angry, but just anxious, right? And losing sleep over it and stuff. And it was like, no, you need to calm down. Take a breath, find a solution, right? And
there's, as funny as life is, there's a solution for everything.
There really is. Yeah.
Nobody has come up with a unique situation where they haven't come up with a solution for it.
Correct.
Just figure out the solution.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, I mean, I'm having it on a project right now where a guy didn't install something properly, and then he panicked, grabbed a guy who thought could fix it, isn't fixing it. So now there's going to be another guy, but it's costing more money, right? Every time that you react, right? It's without thinking. You're reacting without thinking, right? That's going to cost you more money.
It is.
It's actually going to cost you less money to say pay yourself for 2 hours to really sit down and figure out what it is, and then react, right? Less money, definitely, guaranteed.
Let me do a little history Different types of residential exterior siding. You do a lot of siding, don't you? Good amount?
A good amount, yeah.
Actually, this is more exterior cladding. So the brick, you have pros, fire and moisture resistant, sustainable due to clay's abundance, strong and durable, insulating. Cons, rising costs due to high transport prices, labor intensive, mortar may need repointing. Stone, pretty much the same thing. Pros, durable. But they're all coming out with veneers now. Then you got wood, which is highly varied, renewable, can be recycled. Cons, high maintenance, must be restained or repainted often. I'm a fan of it, but you have to maintain it. Aluminum, not the biggest fan of it. Pros, affordable, moisture and cold resistant. Cons, will dent and scratch, oil canning, and anybody who's doing large aluminum panels trying to get away from paying ACM, get into a different industry, because you shouldn't do that.
No, you shouldn't.
Vinyl is almost a go-to these days, just because of it's just affordable. That's the pro on that. Con is it's not eco-friendly. It's, I guess you're using a lot of petroleum on that product.
They do, yeah. Vinyl is like extremely affordable though.
Yeah,
like,
that's the thing about it. And durable.
Yeah,
right?
It's durable.
Then you have steel, which is durable, fire, moisture, heat, and cold resistant, can be pressure washed. Cons, expensive, difficult to install, difficult to repair if dented, and I'd put ACM in that same category. I do want to do one little shout out here. Trax codes. So Trax codes gives the convenient access to OBC Volume 1 and 2 and National Building Codes of Canada and on any device. OBC is enriched with links from section to section. Terms, definitions can be accessed through in-context pop-up. There is a very fast search. That lets you search all across all codes in the system or within single codes. There is functionality to compare changes in the codes, which help to understand the updates. There is also ability to annotate codes and comments, bookmarks, highlights, and share it with others and generate reports. Check out Trax at Trax with an X.co, C-O, and also find them on LinkedIn. You guys, you got to check this out. We did a show on it, and then I'm just doing a shout out for them. It's, you literally go to their website, which is Trax with an X.co, and the whole Ontario Building Code's right there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's a monthly service that you pay. The whole code. When I say the whole code, I mean the whole OBC and all the updates, all the amendments, everything. You do not have to go and get the binders anymore. And then they currently also have the British code as well. They have national code, British Columbia code and national code, and they're working on Quebec and Alberta next. They're going to basically take care of all the provinces and the territories.
Wow.
So it's
all online.
All online.
Nice.
All online. So it's very, very cool.
No more Googling.
No, I know. So I wanted to, did he ever teach you bad clients?
Yeah. I mean, we've had a couple clients where they're just, they think that we owe them something. You know what I mean?
We all had them, Dylan.
Yeah.
We've all had them, man.
Yeah. He's himself. How can I say this? He was just more about the being reputable, right? He was more worried about being reputable, and he was like, just do it.
Just take the high road.
Just exactly. Take the punch, move on. And it was like, all right, yeah. So it was like, yeah, it sucks. It sucks at the end of the day, but it was more of making them happy so that, you know, they would refer you to the next person. Yeah, it's a little different. I would used to be getting, you know, a little bit angry or whatever, right? And be like, no, that's not happening. Like, but now it's like, it makes sense. You know, if somebody's, there is a line that you have to draw though. I mean, if somebody wants a little extra for whatever, then it's like, okay, you know what, we'll take care of you. You know what I mean? But then there has to be that line of like, this stops now, but respectfully. You know, it's like, hey, I've got this other job to do. You know, maybe we can get to you in the spring, or maybe we can get to you somewhere else and take care of you on whatever other job you have or something like that, right? And just trying to draw the line at that case. But bad customers, I haven't really had too many, I would say. It's but it all comes back to being transparent in the beginning, right? It's being upfront, letting them know exactly what's happening. He always taught me, you know, everything's laid out on paper. Everything from the time that you're going to get there to the time of job being finished, it all has to be documented before you even start the job. So when my clients get a quote, they're not questioning, hey, is this going to happen or not? Because whatever's quoted is literally on there how I would do it. It's not like, oh yeah, install deck, install whatever, you know what I mean? It's use this 2-inch screws, deck screws, to screw down, your deck boards, or it's really laying it all out for them to see it. That way there's no questioning at the end of the project.
It's funny that you bring up that line, because I found, and same with the losers, the employees that you have, guys are so quick and clients are so quick to become your friend. And I don't like that. Yeah. I don't. You're a client, and I'm a business, and I'm providing a service for you.
Correct.
And it's the same thing with employees, where they want to get friendly, they want to get personal, they want to find out what you're all about and what do you do, your extracurricular activities, and all this other shit.
Yeah.
But you're still an employee, and you're still the employer. Yeah. And it's kind of, do people do this consciously, that later on I could kind of misuse this? Because clients will misuse it, right?
They will. 100%.
And they're like, you're just supposed to be my buddy. I made you breakfast many times.
I thought we were friends.
Yeah.
I have a lot of
my whole
clients
family, right?
A lot of clients, hey, can I make you dinner? No. I appreciate it.
Draw the line.
I appreciate it, but no, I'm good for dinner, because that's opening the window for them to be like, well, I did this for you. And it's like, you're spot on with that.
You don't do that on the reverse. You don't, like,
No.
I did all these little extra things that you don't even know about.
No, even if I did little extra things, could you imagine going to the client and being like, well, I did this, this, and this. Can you pay me? Well, I thought we were friends.
I've always told any trade that's reached out to me, because that is on the top of the list about how to negotiate a bad situation. Not necessarily bad clients, but just how to negotiate a bad situation.
Yeah.
And I've just said, listen, revert right back to being professional. And if you haven't had the conversation about all these little things that you've done, and you're not doing this to tell them that you want to hint that I want to be compensated for this, you're telling them to remind them why you hired.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Why why you chose this person over another person.
Yeah.
And so now they've been taking care of your home as if it's their own home. They've been taking care of it as if they care about it. And they've been doing a lot of stuff, but now you want to harp on them for something else, and you just, whether you're trying to save money or you're trying to change something that wasn't originally agreed upon, something that's been built and now you want to modify it, but you don't want to pay the full amount to modify it. There's got to be a reason why there's conflict. Yeah. And so I just say, go back to all the care that you've done since day one, how you set it up, what your business is all about. Just keep on reminding about the professional aspects.
And that's the biggest thing I find that too, is like cleanliness anymore. It's got, a lot of people are dying out on that, but oh my God,
it's so easy, Dylan.
It's so easy, but it's so important. It's so important. That was one of Steve's biggest things too. My father-in-law was like, cleanliness is godliness. And it is. Higher-end customers will take you just because you're clean. Because you go in, you're laying those drop sheets, you're vacuuming up at the end of the day, cleaning up those drop sheets, making sure that the other trades behind you are taken care of by being clean and everything. Like, not too long ago, I had a tile guy come in, and he was tiling a bathroom, and I literally went in there and I cleaned everything up. Before he got in, he's like, wow. He's like, I don't usually have, like, people taking care of me. And I'm like, well, I would rather you have a nice, clean, safe place to work and be happy about it. Yeah. That way you can get done, right? It makes the whole job go better. It makes your clients happy. It makes the sub-trades be happy. It makes the dog be happy. You know what I mean? Like,
you don't think that clients are outside on the phone while you're inside working, and they're casually walking by your work vehicle and just side-eye looking into the cab, right? And to kind of peek, is Walmart on that dash, or like, are there a bunch of crumpled up fast food bags all ripped up and put on the seats? Yeah, they're watching. They're paying. They are 100%. Because that's a reflection of you. It doesn't matter if you show up and you're like, nice workwear, clean, presentable, but if your truck, your van, it looks like crap. Yeah, they're gonna question something.
They're gonna notice it.
Yeah, and I do the same thing with all the trades. When I you open up their cab and they're like, here's an invoice or whatever. Here's something. What else or whatever. And then you look around, you're like going, wow, Like, dude, just clean it up, man.
How can you find anything in here?
Well, I can find it, and I keep thinking about an accident happening and all this
for
stuff
sure.
just flailing around.
Oh yeah,
right?
accident happens. You drill coming through and popping in the side of the head. Oh yeah, it's I don't know. It's everything.
a little thing, man. I
It's-
get that life is beating you up, and all of a sudden, before you know it, you work 6 days of the week, and now you got to take care of family stuff and your personal stuff.
But that comes back to, I mean, just how you manage, right? And it's like, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and blow it out and figure it out. You know what I mean?
Do we not, when we're wrapping up a job, as you walk out of the job, if you're coming from the second floor and you're going to the ground floor, are you not carrying something with you? Like no tradesperson should be walking down empty-handed.
No.
When you're loading out, you're getting out, you're cleaning things up. Every trip you take, your hands are full with something.
For sure.
It's the same way that when you load it in, your hands were full with something, bringing everything in
Yeah.
because you're being efficient.
I find a lot of guys are just in a hurry to get home and be done with their day, right? And
That will happen.
it will happen, but it's just I find it a lot more than I used to. And people are just like, I want to drop everything. Like job sites, I find like flooring not too long ago. There's a bunch of broken or cut pieces of flooring. The guy was gone for the day, and I was like, what the heck? Like, why isn't this cleaned up? Like, someone's going to trip on this, or they're going to slip and fall. And I understand you want to get home, but like, this needs to be cleaned, right? And I find it's just people are in a rush. They're in a rush. They're not taking the time to. They're not taking the time to.
I had a tile guy reach out to me, and he's like, guess what I'm doing today? And I'm like, I don't know, tiling?
Probably tiling, yeah.
He goes, no, I'm smashing a brand new shower floor that I just did. And I'm like, why? He goes, we were moving so fast, we forgot to actually waterproof the shower, and we tiled right into the shower, and it was all tiled. And then when we went home, I was thinking about it, and I was like, we never waterproofed that shower.
Oh, my God.
So you know how you skim coat everything?
Yeah.
So then as soon as you start the day, it's all white, and
Yep.
you've got all the tile, you've cut everything. It's just installed now.
Yep.
They got into a groove and just went right into the shower and did everything. And then he's like thinking in the back of his head. I was like, I don't remember any one of us waterproofing that shower.
Oh, no.
So he had to smash the shower and do it a second time.
Man, rushing kills you. It kills you.
I just like, man, just like take the blinders off and focus and take a breath at the start of the day.
That's what you
Show
gotta
up
do.
10, 15 minutes early and go, okay, what's on the
What's on
schedule?
today's agenda?
Yeah.
Correct.
And then
Yeah.
go, wait a minute, did we waterproof that shower? No, we didn't. Well, that's
I like
first
to do a
thing.
checklist, like whether it's on my phone or on a sheet of paper or something. I have like, oh yeah, this is what has to be done today. And like, I'm not always reverting back to that checklist, but I know I have it.
It's in your head.
Correct.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I'll go and I'll be like, oh yeah, I did that, and we're good. We didn't miss anything, right? Or you missed something, so you put it on tomorrow's checklist. It's just, there's, like I said, too many people are rushing nowadays. It's a rat race, and everybody needs to slow down and take a breath.
I met a female GC way back in the early years of my construction, and she inherited the business from her dad, and then she took it over, and then she's doing an amazing job.
Nice.
And all of a sudden, she used to always tell me that everything my dad taught me, I understood. I got it. It was really about just organization, about managing yourself, all this other stuff. And then she'd always tell her crew, it's not rocket science, man.
No.
It's literally steps. And all we have to do is all these steps. That's all we have. And you can't, if you miss one step, it's going to affect.
Correct.
And she would always just say over and over, it's not rocket science. It's not rocket science, over and over. And it's like, actually, it's not. It's pretty simple.
It is pretty simple.
If you think about it. We kind of create our own complexity.
Yeah.
You know, and then by cheating, I guess, or by trying to avoid
That's exactly
things.
it. You know how many guys I've heard have just been like, oh yeah, that's good enough. What? It's not good enough.
I hate that
know?
expression, man.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
It causes problems later. You know what I mean? It's, that's good enough. And then you don't find out about it. And then the customer's like, hey, there's a tile cut short over here. And you're like, was that a good enough moment? Like, oh man.
And then you as a GC, what are you supposed to do? Go back to the tile person that did it, and then
Usually I just do it myself.
that's not fair either. I know what you're saying because I've done it the same, right?
Yeah,
because
but-
that trade's gone on.
Correct. And then I'll just go and I'll fix it. Right. But that also keeps a relationship. That's how that's how I keep on getting repeat customers too, is like, if something bad happens, I'm always
Take
there to
care of
fix it. I'm taking care of it. It's done. And then they know that next time they want anything, or if their friends want anything, they're going to be taken care of, right? So that's kind of how I go about it.
So what do you got? How many employees you got going on?
I have 2 plus me.
Younger?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, both younger.
And then the sub trades, right?
Yeah, and then I sub a lot out now.
Okay.
Yeah. It's hard to find anybody that wants to work.
How'd you find these 2?
So funny story with Nick. When I had LaPointe Renovations, I was going golfing the one day, and he was working at the golf club, and he goes, "Hey, Dill," and I was like, "Hey, man," and he goes, "Just wondering, like, I'm coming up on a co-op, and I was wondering if I can co-op with you." I was like, "Okay, all right, like, yeah, I think that could happen. You have any experience, whatever?" And he told me, just a couple things he's built in his garage with Dad, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, we'll see how this kid does," right? And I told him, me personally, in our area, I don't believe in, like, these kids get co-op, but it's always unpaid. And me, I pay for employees, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, come co-op, and I obviously gave him a wage for it, right?
High school? Coming out of high school?
Yeah, coming out of high school. So he worked for me for a bit there, and then he went off to another builder just to go try out framing houses. And then he just said he absolutely hated it, whatever, and he came back while I was at Bildco. So now he's been with me ever since. But the great thing about that story is I told him he can only have a co-op position if he got me a free round of golf. And he did. That little bugger did.
How did he pull that one off?
I don't know. He never told me, and
You
I
should
don't
ask
really
for
want to
2,
know.
man.
I know, right? But yeah, he literally got it from me. I was just joking about it, but he comes up to me with this slip. That's a free round of golf. I'm like, oh my goodness.
No, the
that's
wheels
awesome.
are spinning as soon as you said it to him. The
Oh,
wheels
yeah.
are spinning, man. He's like, how am I going to pull this off? I can pull it off. Good for him, man.
Yeah. So he's been with me.
And he's a good trade.
He is. So he learned with me since he got out of high school. Then he went off and learned a few other things with another builder and came back. And,
Some bad things from another builder or some good things or balance?
I would say good things.
I think it's good for a young, new,
Yeah.
to experience some bad.
Yeah.
To appreciate the really good.
I thought he couldn't stand that place anymore. So that's kind of where the bad came, was just the
environment.
The environment he didn't like, right? And but he learned some skills, some good skills, like, cutting his birds' mouths and everything like that, right? So, and I do everything just stick framing as well, right? So it's nice to have him know that as well. But yeah, he's been with me for a long time, and I'm very proud of him.
Where did you get the second guy?
Second guy, he's just he's a grunt, and he came from one of our sister companies, and he's just working. So he's basically our cleanup guy. So when Nick and I go in and destroy a room or are absolutely killing something, you know what I mean? He cleans up behind us and saves us a lot of time. So
then you got your subs. So subs you're doing for what? I guess electrical, plumbing, mechanical.
Electrical, plumbing, mechanical, tile, flooring. I mean, we do a lot of it ourselves, but if I get too busy and I don't want to miss a deadline, I'll sub out flooring and stuff like that. Yeah, that's basically it. Electrical, plumbing, mechanical, some flooring guys and niche guys, tile guys.
How's the whole supply shortage been for you, man? Has it been a pain, or is it?
No, I've been extremely lucky because I've actually built a relationship with one of the guys that are at one of our building places, like one of our depots, and he's been able to like absolutely rock it out for me. So whenever I need something, he's like there, and if it's not there, he'll go and run and get it. And yeah, so it's, when it comes to it, like glass, we've had a lot of glass projects lately, and that's been a hard set on.
Glass for what? Windows or glass for railings?
So I did a glass staircase.
Okay.
So all of the spindles were glass panels. And that took 4 months for the glass panels to come in. Like
coming from the States?
No, from Canada. They just couldn't get them. Yeah, I was talking to the guys, and they're like, glass right now is just ridiculous, tempered glass. I don't know how it is up here for you guys, but being down where I'm
Well,
at,
there was a delay on this table. Like this,
Yeah.
this is a tempered piece of glass on the table, and it was supposed to show up one day, and that it got pushed like 3 weeks.
yeah.
I was like, I'm literally waiting for this glass before I can start recording, man.
Yeah, it was 4 months waiting for those. But I think maybe it's because it's all the little individual pieces.
Yeah.
Like they're only, they were 6-inch panels by like 30, I think they were like 34 or whatever. And then we had the angles cut on them because what I did was I threw a dado in the top rail and the bottom rail.
And you dropped it all the way around the whole.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
Channel on the bottom as well.
Yeah.
Into the stair nosing.
Correct. Yeah.
That must look slick.
Oh, it looks awesome. Yeah, it's on our Instagram.
So you're basically just pressure fit at that point.
Yeah,
or
it's all
just-
pressure fit. Yeah, and then I cut.
I like that.
Yeah, and then in between each glass panel, I ended up putting little pieces of block. What did I call them? Fillets, right?
Got it.
So fillets we put in
Yeah,
between.
so you've got the channel, you put a fillet in between, so now the handrail and the I guess the shoe rail or whatever
Yep.
would look complete.
Correct. Yeah, so it turned out bomb. And
What's the
then,
thickness of the glass? 10 mil?
Yes, 10 mil. Yeah.
Did you have to get an engineer to sign off on that or no?
No.
No, right?
No.
If it was a full panel glass, I think.
It was full panel for sure.
Yeah.
Because it was spindles and it's we're underneath that 4-inch gap anyway.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we're good. Yeah.
That must look pretty slick.
Oh, it's one of my favorite projects. Yeah, it was a fun one.
Client was happy.
Client's very happy. She actually, it was crazy the deadline on that because she wanted it done before her daughter's wedding.
Oh, those deadlines. I love those deadlines.
I managed to get it in before the wedding. So the picture on Instagram is actually with all of their like decorations on it and everything. Oh, it looks amazing. It turned out awesome. Yeah. It's just I do these crazy projects where it's like I know how to do the basis of it, but it's new to me, right?
Yeah.
Like fitting glass into a stair railing. I've never done that before, but here's the communication part again is I told the client I've never done this before, right?
How did
In the
they react?
beginning, they're like, "We trust you."
Good.
Okay. All right. Cool. Because they know, I don't go and I don't do things any half-ass. I don't half-ass anything, and I make sure the client's happy before I leave the job, right? And they absolutely loved it. They were fine. They're like, "Hey, we trust you. We think you're going to do a great job," and they absolutely love it. So, but I mean, sanding stairs that were already. Oh man, sanding stairs. That's
Oh wait,
a
this is
task
this is
and a
an
half.
existing staircase.
Correct. And then I redid
Oh,
the
this
handrail.
wasn't new.
No. So this is existing staircase, sanded everything down to bare bones, took off the handrail because it was this goofy handrail, ordered this nice, like, rectangular, thick oak handrail, put it in the table saw, ran it so that I had all of my 4-inch channels all the way, and then refit new balustrades and everything else all the way up, and then put our glass panels in. So, and then had end of the roll come out and do a nice stair runner all the way up. So
Nice.
yeah,
How was the sanding? What'd you use to sand down the original?
we just hand sanded it with palm sanders.
That's it.
Yeah,
And just worked your way with grits and brought it all down.
with the HEPA, and because we have the DeWalt and the DeWalt HEPA that hooks up straight to our sanders,
Yep.
so that
Yep.
everything was dust controlled. That way we weren't getting dust all over the brand new house. We did all their flooring too, and yeah,
all site finished as well.
yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And now you're bringing in the drum sanders to do that.
No. Oh, sorry. No, not that finished. So we ended up tearing up their old floor and
then putting new flooring.
putting brand new floor down.
Got it. And then matching the stairs.
Correct. Yeah.
Pretty good, man.
Yeah.
And now they're basically advertising for you.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Keep them happy, man. Especially in our spot, it's word of mouth, right? Word of mouth. It carries far, and I get a lot of my jobs off of word of mouth. So
Oh, where are you again?
Wallaceburg.
Okay, where's that exactly?
It's in between Sarnia and Chatham. Yeah.
Okay.
So just about 45 minutes from Sarnia.
It's a smallish town.
Yeah, 12,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, smallish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any shady contractors out there? I'm assuming they're everywhere.
Oh yeah, like I said, there's bobs and trucks. That's what we call them, right? There's guys that are just flying around saying, we're here to do it cheaper than the next guy, right? And then we get the phone call.
Are you always being compared to Marketplace or Kijiji or whatever? They get these prices? No, right?
No. I think I've been around long enough that the people that do use me, they accept my prices because they know they're going to be taken care of. So, yeah.
All right. So now, where's Bildco going to go? What are you thinking for next year, next 5 years? Steve must have taught you a few tricks on planning.
Yeah. So my thing is I love residential. Don't get me wrong, but it's a different beast all on its own when it comes to clients and stuff, right? So I'm actually hoping we get more into commercial, which we're well on our way. I'm just finishing up a golf facility.
Okay.
So it's called Par 72, and I built 4 golf simulators, all custom. I have Williams Food in right now, putting in all the stainless kitchenware and bar tops and stuff like that, and built a kitchen for them and a bar, and yeah. So I'm trying to get more into commercial. I just like the work a lot better, the environment a lot better.
Gee, really, huh?
Yeah.
It's funny. A lot of guys will say the reverse. Like,
yeah, it's more I'm gonna sound like a dick here, but it's more the client thing, right?
Because commercial, it's not really a client. It's you deliver.
Correct.
That's all it is.
Yeah. Like, you deal with commercial. I deal with more of just the head guy, or they're the person that's just under them, right? And they tell you what you want, and you submit your draws, you get it done. But and it's also a lot of bidding, getting subs in, and management, right? And managing these trades to make sure you're hitting deadlines. I like that. I like that sport a lot better than the residential. Residential, you're going in, you're dealing with their family, you're dealing with their
personalities.
Correct.
It's business on the commercial side.
Yes. Yeah.
But the pay, it's just long pay periods, right? Like it's 90 days, 120 days. If you prepare your business for it.
I mean, it is. I mean, the way that I prepare it is we submit draws, right, throughout the project of completion.
Yeah.
That way we're always having a steady flow of income and steady flow of money, right?
To carry it.
Correct. To carry everything. But we also do a residential as well. So every time we bang a job out that way, that's more income.
I mean, I do like the commercial side. It was just the draws, but I guess once you're trying to get into the commercial and you're starting it for the first time, you got to kind of get used to the fact that I'm not going to get any money just yet. I got to start the process, and then
see. That's the nice thing about subbing a lot of it out, right? So if I sub a lot of my commercial out, that frees me up to go do a lot of residential jobs.
True.
Right. So that's a steady flow of income coming from my residential jobs because we're just doing one of these while I'm going back and GCing projects, right? So I do like that. I know Nick likes the residential side a lot more than the commercial. I just find there's more opportunity in the commercial. I find in residential, it's just, I guess you can say it is a snowballing effect because you wrap up a bigger name, but in your community, but it just seems repetitive and like you're not moving forward, and you just keep on doing the same little things, and everyone's like, oh yeah, get him to do this. But if you start doing commercial, then you're starting to get bigger jobs, getting noticed a little bit more. And so I think that's kind of my plan, is to start rolling a little bit more commercial.
They'll take more risks in commercial, right?
Yeah.
And if it's a decent place and they want to make a statement, there's always going to be a decent budget attached to it as well.
For sure.
It's the timelines and the penalties.
Yep.
There's those penalties that if you don't finish by a certain time, now you start having to get dock pay or pay them a fine.
Correct.
But as long as you're running everything properly, then it should work well.
Well, that's just it. And it's also dealing, putting fires out.
Yeah.
Right. It's how you deal with putting fires out. And I'm a solutions guy, right? If there's a problem, I'll find a way to fix it. Right.
You got an extinguisher.
Yes, on hand at all times. Yeah.
A little bit of OBC talk here. Siding sealants. Sealants prevent the entry of water into structure. Sealants must be used between masonry, siding, or stucco and the adjacent door frames, window frames, and trim around sills unless they are completely protected from the entry of rain, and at vertical joints between different cladding materials unless it's suitably lapped or flashed to prevent the entry of rain. Talking about this whole, I don't understand why they wouldn't overlap a drip X. Like,
yeah,
I don't get it.
No, I was baffled by it, and I told that, like, I actually got a little angry with him because he was like, "No, you don't. We bought them. And I'm like, "You do not." I was like, "What? Do
you understand the principles?
You don't understand that water. It'll try and take the least pass of resistance, and if you have an opening there, it's gonna find it and it's gonna go through it. And then guess what? Years down the road, these poor people are gonna have to fix their fascia board because it's all rotted out.
Yeah.
Why? Because your dad said so." Right? It's like, it is what it is.
Some people are just set in their ways, man.
They are.
I was weird. In the beginning, I was always questioning it. Doesn't matter if this is how it was done. I would question why it was done that way.
Correct.
And if it didn't make sense to me, I would question it. And then somehow you ask enough questions, it gets you to a solution.
Well, it's like a science here. Like if you look at scientists, right, they will study something till it's 100% guaranteed. Right? The same goes with ours. If you're not 100% sure that this is going to work or fix something or be the proper way, then you shouldn't do it, or you should hire someone else to do it.
Yep.
Right? It is what it is.
Is the whole crew DeWalt?
All DeWalt.
All DeWalt.
All DeWalt. Yeah.
Even the new kids, they're all DeWalt.
Yeah. They all use we always grab new tools for all of our new guys, right? Nick has a full, I got him. Well, Steve did. Steve got him a full van. We fully loaded it with all DeWalt tools. Good to go. Now he's got a van, all of his tools that he needs. We're a firm believer on, if we need a tool to complete a job properly, we will buy it. Because if it's going to either save us time or money on a job or get the job done completed the way it needs to be, there's no going around anything. We'll make sure that we have the proper tools to complete the job.
Would you ever switch?
No.
So why do we have this constant question on social media about switch?
So everybody's all about so Milwaukee is more fitted towards, the electricians, the plumbers and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Me personally, I've never had a DeWalt tool break on me. In the 10 years that I've been working in the industry, I've never had a DeWalt tool break on me. So my guys all use DeWalt because I'm scared that if I switch to Milwaukee, and I've had a Milwaukee rep give us tools to try out, and it doesn't feel the same. The drill doesn't.
But is that because you have a DeWalt hand? You have a DeWalt mind?
Maybe.
But everybody has the same. I've heard great things about DeWalt. I've heard bad things about DeWalt. I've heard great and bad things about every brand.
Yeah.
It's just you choose whatever. And I've had Bosch tools fail on me. Like a drill just stop. So you just assume the.
See, I've never had that with DeWalt.
Never ever, huh? I've had DeWalt.
Yeah. What tools broke on you from DeWalt?
I've had bones still rattling after I'm using the DeWalt oscillating tool.
Yeah.
That thing vibrates like.
Has it broke?
It hasn't broken. It's just loud. I just think that you should add that vibrating nozzle that the concrete guys use to it and make it dual purpose.
I was doing a job for Ember Gas.
Okay.
And we were using jackhammers to take out their old compressor concrete pads.
Okay.
And it was like, this is going to rattle our hands, right? But we actually were able to find some anti-vibration gloves that we were able to use. So
But DeWalt's got an SDS jack that has the vibration.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the handle.
I have that. You have the SDS Plus and the regular
and
SDS.
There's a big difference, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's sweet. It goes through concrete like butter. DeWalt. Everybody get it.
I get it. No, I totally understand it. I just find it funny when I look at other brands trying to convince somebody who's loyal to a brand.
Yeah.
And they're loyal for a reason, whether that whoever put a DeWalt in your hand for the very first time, or if it was your mentor that kind of influenced you to do that, and then now the kids that you got working for you, and you've given them a DeWalt and they're using it, and they're associating the good workmanship that they're doing with the tools that they're using, which are DeWalt. So it's like, good luck, Milwaukee, trying to get these guys to switch
for
over.
Sure.
It's a very difficult battle.
It definitely is. When it comes to like the electricians, like our sister company is an electrical company called Empower Electric, and they are all switched over to Milwaukee, it seems like. But they've been convinced to go from DeWalt to Milwaukee, and I see why, because Milwaukee's really done a good job at the tools branding for
those trades.
Right? And I know I've heard that DeWalt's trying to do the same, is go back into electrical, but I've also heard Milwaukee's trying to go more contractor.
DeWalt will never succeed in electrical.
No.
I'll tell you that for a fact.
No, I don't
They
think so
will
either.
never. They should just accept that guys love their miters, guys love their job site table, and also the full size table that they have.
Yep.
And guys love their hammer stuff. They love their tools. That's it.
Yep.
So trying to get into there's no Sparky that I've spoken to, or a plumber or an HVAC guy that will drop their red or blue and then go to yellow.
Yeah,
it won't happen.
No, and like all our guys at Empower were all yellow. And then boom,
but
now
then they
they're
quickly
red.
realized,
Yeah, they did, and I understand it, and I see some of the tools that are being made for those guys from Milwaukee, and I think they're amazing.
Whole hogs,
yeah,
you know, their Sawzall, like they just have proper tools to pull those tasks.
Correct,
and that's the reason why. I mean, DeWalt tries.
Yeah,
they've got a pretty killer right angle, colorless right angle.
Oh yeah,
you know, that was a joke. I was doing that fence. I was doing that helical pile fence. Like the client wanted no concrete. Yeah. He wanted helical piles. And it was a good thing that he did that, because the side of the house just had the gas line and trees and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
This was going to be a shitstorm if I was going to do concrete.
Yeah.
So we did helical piles, and then they left us with flanges on top of every pile, welded.
Yep.
And then we had to drill 4 holes in each flange to secure the post, the aluminum post to the flange, separated by the rubber gasket, because you're dealing with raw steel and aluminum. Yep. And then we started with a Bosch tool to drill the holes, and it was crying. Then my guy pulls out his right angle DeWalt, and it was butter, a little unsalted butter, and then back to butter. It was just butter through the whole thing.
It's good.
And we weren't joking. It was like we had 32 to do times 4.
Yeah.
That's a lot of drilling. I even got extra bits just in case, but we only burned through maybe 6 bits.
Lucky.
Through all those holes. But that drilled everything. Yeah. I was stunned. I'm like, I'm walking away from this. I'm not making a video about this. I'm just walking away, right? Yeah. Like, good for you. And that was a good tool, man.
Yeah. I mean, it always drops down to if you have the right tools for a job, right? I mean, that'll make or break you time-wise. If you can spend 2 days drilling holes, or you can get the right tool and save you an entire day. You know what I mean? So,
but here's another line. We just buy too many tools sometimes.
Shh, don't announce that to everybody.
I'm just like, sometimes even you'll catch me sometimes walking around a tool carousel, and all of a sudden, or I'll show up at a shop and I'll be like, oh, what's that over there? That's not a bad number.
Just not too long ago, I was in a Home Hardware in our town, and I don't have a table saw at home, right? And I walked by and I had a double take. This table saw, DeWalt table saw, was on sale for like $230. I was like, never gonna find that deal again. You're coming home. It's still in the box.
Still in the box. They were just getting rid of it?
I don't know. I asked them. I was like, is this price right? And they're like, yeah. I was like, all right, I'll take it. Like, I didn't need it at the time.
But at $200.
Exactly. It's $200. When are you gonna find that price?
Someone must have misprinted that, man.
I don't know. I took it and ran. It was like that lady on the commercial. Start the car.
That's exactly it, man. You didn't commit a crime, but it feels like I did.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah,
but we do that. We walk around, and even I right now, I like Bosch launched a Rotozip. Yeah. Drywall cordless, finally, after so long. And I'm looking at it going, that's not a bad looking tool, man. And it's it's 149 or something like that, just a bare tool. Yeah. And I'm like thinking, I'm not touching drywall anytime soon, but I'm thinking I wouldn't mind having it.
I wish I would have known that. My drywallers. We had somebody break into the site and taken like $8,000 worth of tools from us and the drywallers. And they had to go and buy all new Rotozips. They got the DeWalt ones. And I mean, Rotozips DeWalt, they're not cheap. No. Like, not cheap. But I wish I'd known that, because Bosch, they probably would have tried them out.
I
like Bosch.
They got a little shield.
Yeah.
So they have a little plastic shield on the actual opening of it, so it kind of contains all the dust right there.
Nice.
So that's kind of, I mean, I want to try it out for that reason that they figured that one out. DeWalt doesn't have a shield.
No.
RotoZip doesn't have a shield.
No.
I don't even.
You're sitting there.
Yeah. And then when you're in the wrong angle, and all of a sudden you get a nice chunk of drywall dust right in your eye. Man.
Oh, yeah.
Right? No. I just thought it was a good price, and maybe they're doing it just to get it out.
I'm a big fan of Bosch. Like Bosch tools, that's what my dad always used too, and their Sawzall, amazing. I love Bosch Sawzall. It's really good. They have good blades too. So,
yeah. They work.
Yeah.
I've always been, but I mean, I still have fine. I've got a Makita grinder variable. I got a fine multi-tool. I still prefer it.
See, I find a lot of construction guys are moving over to Makita.
Yeah. Because Makita's designing anything and everything for all kinds of stuff. I saw the other day Makita had a cooler.
Yeah.
Regular size picnic cooler.
Okay.
It's a fridge and an oven.
Wow.
Battery powered.
So it's just missing an espresso machine for you.
It's a fridge and an oven. The video was showing a chicken being cooked, wrapped in foil.
Wow.
Dropped into the belly of it, turning it on, and it's baking the chicken.
I'm gonna have to show my brother-in-law that, because
you gotta find it.
We've always had this joke about bringing the Traeger on the job site, because we got this like camping Traeger.
Do it, man.
And we've thought about just putting it in the back of the van and then smoking something until lunchtime.
Start at the start of the day.
Correct.
Get it going, and then by lunch you got this amazing meal, man.
But I mean, if Makita's got a barbecue,
it's not. It's just an oven.
An oven. Sorry,
it's an oven.
Yeah,
but it's also a fridge.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, and it takes 2 batteries.
It runs off batteries. Oh my god,
it runs off batteries, man.
My mind's blown now.
I was impressed by it.
These lithium batteries, man, they're something else.
But that's Makita. Makita comes up with these things that you're trying to figure out, right?
Yeah.
They're the first ones that came out with a coffee maker too, right? Off a battery.
Sure.
I think it was off a battery, a coffee maker, Makita.
Okay.
It's not very good looking, but it makes coffee.
But it makes coffee, yeah.
But
did you end up getting that?
No, I have my Nespresso little,
yeah.
Amazon. You buy $1, or they were on sale for 99 bucks.
You still have you still rolling with the vans?
No. I sold my van this year.
Did you?
Yeah.
You go to the truck?
No, I'm not. No? I said all my subs are. Why do I need? I'm not carrying stuff.
Yeah, I was truck. I went to van. Game changer.
Huge.
Yeah, I mean we took a bunch of plywood and like outfitted them the way that they wanted, and just do a little research online to see what other guys are doing, right? And then you
follow along.
Yeah, so we have 2 vans that are completely opposite of the spectrum. Like mine, I've got a floor that's raised, so I can put 2x4s underneath it, and then that side door I open, and I call it my quick station. I put a bunch of like all my big chargers up top, and then all my tools are in there that I need every single day, and I can literally just open up, got them all, right? And then our other one's just like all storage on the sides. And it's
Is it organized every week?
Yeah.
Or it falls apart midweek and then it gets reorganized.
Falls apart.
It has to.
It has to.
I know.
Yeah.
But
if
it's
you
nice
get busy, it falls apart, and then you got to take that extra day or extra time to make sure everything gets cleaned up and ready to go for the next work week, right?
Or get the kid clean this up.
That's exactly it.
Right. And then they can get familiar with the truck.
Yeah.
And then know exactly.
That's what I actually did not too long ago. I just looked at Mike and I said, hey man, I was like, go do me a favor and go organize the van. Oh, okay, yeah. And I went in there, and my tools were all in different spots that I had them, obviously, but he organized it, right? And he's getting familiar with, this tool, this tool, this tool. That way, now I'm not there teaching him, hey, this is the tool, right? He now has seen the tool, so whenever I tell him, hey, go grab this tool, he'll know exactly where it's at. So
when I outfitted my van, this is a long time ago. My van was a 2015.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So when I outfitted it, I took a bunch of pictures, showed a bunch of people what I was doing. I mean, I had places for all my Milwaukee storage units, like all the little screw ditties and everything like that. Right. And then I had places for all my tools, all the power tools. I had places for the batteries. I had places for my track saw, all different tracks and everything. But then I made a little compartment, a little section on the ceiling for all my trowels.
Oh,
so all I did was, and I used sheets and sheets of plywood to do.
So you're able to like put the handle in?
Yeah. So the idea is that I basically created a channel with a lip on both sides, so then you could put the trowel horizontally to the opening, and then turn it,
I did that for all my DeWalt tools.
Everyone was asking me about that one detail.
Yeah.
Because I could fit 31 trowels there.
Yeah.
And they would never move. They would never fall. They would never bend the corners.
Yep.
And it was easy to access any one of them at any given time.
Yep. Yep.
And it was like, actually, it was a pretty good idea because what do tile guys do with their trowels all the time?
Throw them in a bucket.
They throw them in the bucket with them sticking out or the handles in or whatever. And then it basically becomes a guillotine for your fingers trying to find stuff.
Or if you're in a van, you're walking by and you're slicing your ankles.
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why
trowels get sharp.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And especially when they take the grinders and they want to clean them up.
Correct.
And take a little bit of
We'll leave that for the day. Next week, we'll grind them and we'll get them back to good use.
That's the other thing, too. I guess it's like teaching the kids how to maintain all these tools because these tools are making you money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that comes back to cleanliness is godliness. If your tools aren't clean, they're not going to work properly, which is going to take you time. Right?
It frustrates me when I see trades at the end of the day going back to they just want to go home, leave.
Yeah.
And they leave everything. Like tile guys will leave a mix in the bucket.
Yeah.
Like they'll just leave broken pieces of tile here or offcuts of hardwood flooring. Just hands full, leave the job site, organize it, throw it in the bin, throw it in the garbage.
And you know what? It feels so much better when you're walking up into a clean job site.
Yes.
With good tools and everybody knows where everything is and we all make a plan. Everything's good to go instead of scrambling, rushing. It just makes sense.
Leave all that messiness for the guys who don't care at all about the industry, right?
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah.
What kind of van did you get?
Kind of van? It's just a GMC, not caravan, but the cargo vans.
The cargo vans, yeah.
Yeah, so we got 2 of those. They work awesome. Yeah, starters aren't very good in them though.
No, they're not.
No, we've had to replace.
Don't tell that to Carlito. He loves his GM.
I love GM too. I'm very big.
His GM is actually pretty rocking. He's got like he oversized his tires.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's got some really knobby tires on it. Yeah. He's got this grill on it. It looks like apocalyptic. Like it's gray, black. He's got no light, but I mean the back of it is it was semi-organized at one point.
Okay.
And then he just kind of throws everything, but he knows where he's thrown everything.
Yeah.
To find it.
Yeah.
But it's a death trap to go in there to try to find something.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, you got to fix this, man.
I will. No, come. You step right.
No, I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it. I'm not going anywhere near there, man. Let me a little chat about Green Book talk here. Hazards of cement board. You still using for cement board for
no, Schluter,
right? Yeah. I got rid of cement board a long time ago.
Yeah.
Fiber cement boards is a composite material made from cement, sand, and cellulose fibers. Using a handheld circular saw to cut it can generate crystalline silica dust, which can irreversibly damage the lungs if inhaled. Specialty saw blades from 4 to 8 teeth reduce the amount of respirable dust compared to standard masonry blades. I hate always. How did you cut it, with a knife or with a blade or the
cement saw?
Yeah,
blade,
right, and snap it.
Yeah,
but you never get a clean cut.
No.
Then you got to take a grinder.
Then you got to take a grinder to it, anyways.
Then you're going airborne anyway.
Yeah, masks.
It's just mask, or you start doing HEPA, which is vacuum dust collection systems, can be used to control the dust. Handheld circular saw with enclosed saw blade, that works as well. Mm-hmm. Vacuum rated, filter 99%, 1.5 to 2 inch diameter vacuum hose. When using VDCSs, which are vacuum dust collection systems, keep the hose free of debris, kinks, and tight bends. Regular turn off and on the vacuum to reduce the dust. But I think nowadays everybody's got a HEPA.
Yeah, it's either that or everybody's got. I see a lot in our
the dust
trades, the dust collectors, right?
Yeah, and they work.
They do work.
Yeah.
But me, it's HEPA everything. Since I got that, and that's another thing why I would never leave DeWalt, is because all my tools fit together, right? So like my sander, grinders. Well, no, the grinder hasn't come out with that yet, but
the
all
DeWalt
of my
one.
Yeah.
Makita has.
But I don't think DeWalt's come out with it. But there's a snap lock system for DeWalt and your HEPA. So my HEPA has a hose, and then they all hook up to the same snap lock.
Really?
So you snap lock your tool in, and then you go, and you don't have to worry about anything falling off because it's a snap lock. And then, it's amazing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Regularly change your vacuum collection bags, the filters. Avoid exposure to dust when changing vacuum bags and cleaning air. I guess, guys are so easy to, let's clean out the filter, and they're just smacking it and creating It's you're defeating the purpose here, man.
Yeah.
If you want to live a long time in this industry, you want to take care of your lungs, man, while you're working in this industry.
100%.
A lot of older guys are talking about this is my coughing's from this. I can't breathe all that well because of this. And and same with the hearing, same all kinds of stuff.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I've even had problems with my hearing just from over the years and not wearing ear protection, right? So now whenever I'm doing anything loud, it's muffs are on, right? So
I blame loud music when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
I did like loud music and the impact gun in between joists.
Yeah. Mine was I've always used a table saw a lot for cutting.
They're loud.
And they are loud.
Nobody ever thinks to put on a headset when doing, I know.
But they are loud, especially if you're in a garage doing it. Oh man, the ring is so bad. And
same with miter saws.
You don't think about it when you're younger, but now I'm like, man,
you feel it.
I've definitely neglected myself over the years. That's for sure.
What else? What do you like, Bildco? Where I just want to figure out what else you want to chat about, man, as we kind of get close to wrapping it up.
I
think we touched upon everything.
We touched upon a lot of stuff.
I do want to know: is there something that you haven't built yet that you want to build that you're hoping a client will ring the doorbell and go, "I need you to build this for me"?
I've done a lot of crazy, weird things. Like I'm kind of that guy that like, if something custom has to be made,
you jump.
People come to me or I'll jump at it, right? Because I love a good challenge, right? And if it's something I haven't done before, I want to figure out how to do it. Honestly, for the longest time, one of the things that I really wanted to build was a golf simulator.
You haven't done one?
I just built 4.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah.
Just built 4. But that was one of the things on my list to do, right? And
did you go full blown? Like, was it?
I was full blown. Like, it's like there's padding all on the walls.
Yeah,
there's TrackMan, like top technology that's going in there. Turf's all on the floors. Screens all in. It's
what's the price tag on that?
I think for the 4 sims, it's like $100,000.
It's not too bad.
It's not horrible. Yeah.
Year round.
But then you still got it. Yeah. Yeah, it's like $100,000 to outfit 4 simulators. Yeah.
But that's just simulators. That's not your work as well, too.
No,
that's like, because I'm assuming a lot of these are going into the basement, or they're going into.
A lot of people do the basement ones, so those are a lot cheaper. This is for commercial use, where he's.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's got like a bar, and these are like.
Oh.
Fully set up simulators, right? And 4 of them. So there's 2 beside each other, and then on the other side of the room, there's another 2. Both looking at each other, and then there's little bars in front where people get to have their drinks and stuff and watch their buddies swing at the screens, right? So those cost about $100,000, and it was probably, I don't know, I think it was like 15 for me to build them. So
it's not too bad.
Yeah.
You're saying a little cheaper if you were to do it in resi in your
basement? Oh, in resi for sure. If you're in resi, then you're not looking at $100,000 for a simulator. You're probably looking at. I've searched them up because I want one.
Yeah.
But build one. Now that I know how to build
one.
But I think the cheapest one I found was probably about like $25,000.
That's not crazy.
But you get the program with that. You get the simulator, so you can pop it all up and everything. It's like $25,000 for all set up. It comes with its own like turf and stuff, right? But yeah, if you want to sim. But now I also know turf guys that literally do this on the regular. I got their business card. They were there, and
so you can use them for your place.
Correct.
I saw a quick video of Tiger's kid.
Oh yeah, that kid's phenomenal. Oh my goodness.
When did he get him started, man? Like literally a
young.
week. Yeah.
Young, for sure.
How old? The kid's young, man.
I can't remember how old. I want to say he's like 12 or something, right?
But he's like swinging.
Well, he's playing with the pros.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't just there as Tiger's son playing. Like the kid was there bombing.
It was just funny to hear the announcers describe his form and describe everything as if he was an actual pro.
Correct.
Playing on the fucking league,
well,
man.
You learn from the best, right? So,
wow.
It
was impressive, man.
Well, the cool thing too is I saw on like Instagram where like even like when he's sitting there waiting for the ball to drop, he's doing the same Tiger thing and everything. Like he's spitting image of his father.
I saw that, man.
Yeah, really cool.
And I'm sure he's proud of him too, right? He's just looking at him going, okay, yeah, so pass it on, right?
Your son's kicking ass. I'd be proud too.
That's funny, man.
I can't wait. Mine's 8 months, and first thing I'm doing is trying to get a golf club in his hand.
That's it.
Just come golfing with me, buddy. But we have another one on the way. So
really,
yeah, number
Congrats.
2. Thank you.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Busy boy at home.
Busy. Yeah.
And then now it just means you got to just organize the business even better so you can spend more time at home.
That's it.
That's all it is, man.
Yeah, that's all it is. We're busy.
Oh, it's good for you, man. Let's do the 12 questions, man. You ready for this?
Yeah, I saw you when you sent this to me. I wasn't sure what it is. I tried to look it up.
It's not a test.
No. It was. I was trying to look up because it was someone's name that you had on there. What's the name?
James Lipton.
James Lipton.
Yeah, I've actually taken these questions. I mean, made him construction.
Yeah, okay.
He was an acting coach,
yeah.
and these questions came from a show that he did.
Gotcha. Because I was looking it up. I was like, James Lipton.
Yeah.
James Lipton.
Oh, he's passed on. Yeah, but
yeah, I saw the questions, but I was like, oh, there's no questions of construction. I was like, oh man, he must have made some. I gotcha.
I've always watched his show, and I always liked the questions.
Yeah.
And then I modified the questions to make it construction.
Makes sense.
And then he's actually been on The Simpsons too.
Oh, really?
Right. So I mean, Simpsons kind of animates anybody and everybody, but
Yeah.
he was even on there, and it was just funny. And it's just interesting to see how people respond to the questions.
Yeah. Cool.
So that's why I started doing it, and I like it.
Nice.
What is your favorite construction word?
Favorite construction word?
Golf.
Yeah, golf. Is that construction?
Sure it is.
I guess we can make it into construction. I want to say favorite is either flush or level. That's my favorite word. That means everything's right.
Exactly. It works. What is your least favorite construction word?
I thought.
That's a good start to a bad end.
Yeah. Yeah.
What turns you on in construction?
Happy client.
It's true. What turns you off in construction?
Turns me off. I'm going to say rushing and not being in the moment. Just
enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoy being there. Enjoy what you're doing. Don't throw everything around. You know,
it's a sunset on a job site.
Correct.
That's it.
Enjoy it. Do it properly. You got into it for a reason, right?
Never forget that. What is your favorite curse word?
Probably fuck. It's a good one.
It's a good one. What's your favorite vehicle in the entire world?
Favorite vehicle in the entire world?
Anything in the world.
Oh. It used to be the Plymouth Roadrunner 68. Plymouth Roadrunner. That was always like my favorite.
With the massive tail?
Yeah. Yeah, that's when I was like younger, but then I watched a show called Supernatural, and I can't remember if it's
what are they driving?
I'm trying to remember. I think it was
I thought it wasn't a CUDA.
No. I can't remember what it is, but
that
whatever car
they're driving,
whatever that car is, that's sexy. Yeah.
What is your least favorite vehicle in the entire world?
Probably because this guy pulled in front of me on the way up here. A Fiat.
Fiat 300, 500. What's it called?
Maybe the 300.
I don't know what it's called. Yeah. What construction sound or noise do you love?
The vacuum cleaner. It means something's getting cleaned.
That's exactly what I was just thinking.
Yeah,
that's right. Someone's using it for a purpose.
Yeah, either that or the. I always it's a staple, right? And it's always that table saw. You hear the table saw, it's just, it's either woodworking or construction or something, right?
Work's getting done.
Yeah.
What construction sound or noise do you hate?
Grinder.
Loud.
Yeah, it's loud. It sucks. It's just not a good time. Yeah.
Hard to contain the dust too. Mm-hmm. You can try to get the vacuum nozzle.
Well, you get the vacuum on, but sometimes you're like bumping off of it, and then you're leaving all these little notches in the end of your vacuum cleaner.
You grab the vacuum, you're like, "Where's the new guy?"
Oh no!
I know. Our vacuums are all looked at, right? That's how it is. What profession would you? What profession other than your own would you like to attempt one day?
Graphic design.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you come up with that?
I did not, but I actually do a lot of our own graphics and all of our Instagram stuff.
Nice.
And I can like I've gotten programs and practiced with them and stuff. And then I've also gotten into oh crap, I've gotten into CNC.
Or CNC.
Yeah, I got a CNC machine, so now I've gotten into
How
playing around with that.
big's the board? That
So I can do up to 30 by 30.
it's good size.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So you just still messing around with it?
Yeah, it's in my garage, and I've done a few things, but my thing is being able to do like things for clients, make them for them after I'm done on the project.
Oh, like a little gift or something?
Yeah, like the guy that's spending a lot of money right now is, you know, building these bar simulators. I've built him this big bar 72 sign out of it that's like 29 by 28, I think, and it's, you know, all stained and stuff. So it's cool for that, but also you know, sometimes in our area when it gets to be winter time, things start to slow down a bit, and it would be nice to just, you know, one of my big things that I love doing is woodworking. And woodworking has always been like my passion, but it's also like my thing that I do on the side, right? And this just kind of takes it to the next level for me. Instead of sitting there with a Dremel,
I know, it's
and trying to do whatever, you just throw it in the machine. But there is learning behind it, you know. You have to learn how to. Yeah, I mean, I never knew what an SVG file was until I got this thing, and now I know how to actually make them, right? So
Rob did those in the corner of the table.
yeah, those are sweet. See, like that stuff I can do. That's actually done with laser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he burns it at the same time. And I was like, he did that in minutes.
Oh, yeah.
He set it up in seconds, and he did it it took 6 minutes to do each one. And I was like, wow, this is just insane.
I ended up getting a small laser too, just a desktop laser. So what I'm doing too is making coasters, small coasters with people's logos on it. Yeah, but they're wood, and I stain them.
That's wicked, man.
Yeah. So they're I gave them to one of my buddies' father. And he's like, man, you got me some lifers. And I was like, yeah, I guess so. Like, that's awesome. So
I love it. What profession would you not like to do?
I probably wouldn't want to be a plumber.
No, you don't like no love for the plum at all?
No, it took me a while to even be able to stand changing the baby without like gloves on and stuff. So I'm not good with shit.
And they deal with it all the time.
I mean, I've done lots of plumbing, like just, I know I'm not supposed to do it, but for a client, sometimes you're like, whatever, I'll throw it together, right? But
every time I do plumbing and there's a shit situation, I always tell myself, and I usually say it out loud, that office job ain't looking bad right now.
Yeah, plumbing is a no-go for me. I don't like it.
It's kind of harsh, man. Tying it to old clay and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and then you're always breaking out concrete. Like, I don't want to do that.
It's hard. Last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at those pearly gates?
Your family's proud, or you've done well, I guess. Something like that. Something to do with my family.
Yeah, nice.
You know,
Nice, man.
I'm big on trying to make, you know, life well for my family and have everyone taken care of. And it would be nice to be like, you know, get there and be like, you've done it, right? Your family is stable.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Thanks, Dillon.
No, thank you.
So good to see you, bro. And thanks for taking the trek out here and hanging out with us for a little bit.
Oh, thanks for
sharing it.
I haven't seen you in years.
I know. It's been a while.
Last time I've seen you in person, you were doing a seminar at our school. So.
I've reached out to George to get some of the instructors on the show, and there's a whole bureaucratic bullshit thing to get.
Really?
Yeah, they have to get approvals, right?
Oh,
and I was supposed to have a site super from Ellis Don on the show.
Nice.
And he just got back to me saying he still has to get corporate approval. And I was like, good luck with that one.
Yeah.
While you figure that one out.
That's probably not going to happen.
It's just like I could see the kind of something behind the George Brown, but it's really I know that a lot of kids are listening to the show for a good reason.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, why not just get the instructors on the show here and let's talk about construction?
It would be cool, but I think they kind of see it as a liability to their program or something, right?
Possibly.
What if someone said something wrong and, you know, it is what it is.
Dangerous times or whatever. Just all we're doing is talking construction, man.
That's it.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Man. So, Thanks, bro. I appreciate it, man. www.buildco.ca, Dillon at buildco.ca, and it's on Instagram at Bildco Contracting, man. All the best to you, bro.
Thank you, and to you as well.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for having me. This has been an absolute honor.
Thanks, man. Thank you, Angelina. We're gone.